Welcome to this lesson on circles in the coordinate plane. Our central question and objectives for this lesson: what does HK refer to, and how do we write the equation of a circle? So if we look at a circle in the coordinate plane, we know about 1 point for certain, and that's the center. And that's actually what HK represents. H comma K. H is the x value of the point that is the center of our circle, and K represents the y value for the point that is at the center of the circle. Okay, there we go. We also know that a circle has a radius, and that radius is the distance from the center of the circle to any other point on the circle, because we know a circle is a collection of points that are equidistant from a certain point. That certain point is the center. All the other points on the circle are equidistant from that point. So if I look at what we have here, I can use the distance formula to find the distance of r, to find what our radius is. X, remember, x is any point, so no matter what, r is going to be the same. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the distance from the two x values. So this value here is x, and this value here is h. The distance is x minus h. So remember that our distance formula equals d equals the square root of x minus, or x1 minus x2 squared plus y1 minus y2 squared. Okay? So if I'm finding this r, the distance for r, that's going to be the distance that I'm looking for. So r equals, then I want to find the square root of, let's say this is x1, y1. So x1 minus h, which will be my x2, so x minus h squared plus y1, so y minus this distance here, this height is k, and this height right here on the y-axis, this is y. So in order to find this distance here, I need to take y minus h, or sorry, minus k. And so if I want a function that represents my circle, if I square both sides, I have r squared, because remember, it's not a function if we have a square root, because what's under there can't be negative. So I'm going to have r squared x minus h squared plus y minus k squared. And that is how we derive the radius of the circle. So h, remember, hk is our center. That's important to know. hk is the center. So h and k are actually constants for this equation. So there are only two variables. The radius is the constant too. So if we know the center of our circle, h and k, and we know the radius, r, then I can set up an equation using x and y as my variables, when x, y is any point on the circle. Here's a cleaner look at the equation of a circle. It's x minus h, all that squared, plus y minus k, all that squared, and that's going to equal r squared. And there's just another look at it with the picture of the coordinate plane as well. So if we just do a quick example, so if you have to graph a circle in the coordinate plane, what you would do is you would look at the equation. This right here, you may be inclined to think, oh, okay, r equals 4. Wrong. Don't make that mistake. Remember, 4 is equal to r squared. This should be r squared. So r squared equals 4. If I square root both sides of that equation, I get r is equal to 2. I'm not going to use a negative 2 because you can't have a negative length for a radius. So my radius is 2. So we got that much, right? Now I need to find the center. So remember, it's in the form x minus h and y minus h. That means if you see a positive, that's really a negative 3. So I'm going to go down 3, and I'm going to go to the right one. Remember, this is a positive h. So to the right one, there's my center. So my center is at 1, negative 3. My radius is 2. And so my graph would look something like this. I'd put a radius, my radius is 2, so I'm going to put a dot 2 away at each point and try my best to draw a line here. And so there's my circle with a radius of 2. And I actually have the answer there for you. You can see a little better graph of the circle. Now you may be given the radius and the center of a circle and asked to write the equation for the circle. So the center is 13, negative 13, and I know that means I have h and then I have k. Right, so h, k. So h is going to be 13 and k equals negative 13. So if I'm writing my equation, I have x minus h squared plus y minus k, all that squared, equals r squared. So let's substitute everything in. So h equals 13, so x minus 13 squared plus y minus k, k is negative 13, all that squared, and equals 4 squared, which is our radius. And so if I simplify that up a little bit, I get x minus 13 squared plus y plus minus a negative, so I'm just going to boop boop. It's really adding the opposite, so we're adding a positive, plus 13 squared equals 4 squared, which is 16. So there's the equation for the circle that has a center at 13, negative 13, and a radius of 4. That's all I have for you. I hope you can answer the essential questions now. What does HK refer to, and how do we write the equation of a circle? Hope you learned a lot. If you're still confused, please go back, take more notes, watch again, come to live class, go to Math Cafe, reach out. Tell us when you need help so that we can help you as best we can.